Welcome to an inflation day, and it is Tuesday, and we are talking now on the 14th of December, 2021, about 8:20 a.m. Central Time, and we got some serious inflation numbers. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I want you to look behind me. It is basically a sea of what? Red. You have the Bitcoin up, the pound up, the euro up, coffee and soybeans. Other than that, everything is basically a sea of red. And inflation didn't help gold at all, down $20. Silver, yay, I've got my clients in good shape there if they're following me. Down almost 61 cents this morning. Even copper getting smashed. More Omicron coming out, and now China, 2 cases discovered there. Now, before I go to the day's news, and I'm going to get to it in a minute, a piece of news for you. My last live webinar of 2021 is going to be this Thursday. I want to do it right after the FOMC meeting takes place tomorrow, and then we can discuss that, other ramifications, and all the other central banks. There's 20 of them this week that are doing their monetary policies. How do you get to it? Follow me. Take your cursor, simply move it up to the top of this video. An icon will appear up there. What do you do with that? It's really simple. All you do is click on it, fill out everything. It'll register you. If you have questions you want of me, my email address is in there. We take it from that step. So as I said, the inflation numbers, let's get to them and understand. First, the small business optimism came out at 5 this morning, 98.4, better than expected, and that's with Omicron well known in this. The U.S. producer price, these are the blowout numbers, came out 0.3 greater than the expectation of 0.5. Ex-food and energy up 0.3 greater than the expected amount. You're looking here at numbers that are running near 10% on an annual basis. So these are historic numbers. They're the largest gain. What caused it? You know what caused it. The supply chain issues, the combination of that, the Christmas season, now think of what I'm saying, and coming out in waves of the COVID, so people were getting out and demanding more in the way of goods, services, and the like. It has created that inflation. This is not an event you'll see on a regular basis. This is going to correct. It takes time. It also gives food for the FOMC meeting, where the Fed, if you thought maybe, what are they going to do with tapering? You're by yourself on that, obviously. It just cements everything in. Red Book sales, again, another 15% plus gain. It's week after week of that. The FOMC meeting began today. Obviously, they're going to be looking at that data we just talked about. 2 cases. China's reporting of Omicron. If there's 2, there's a heck of a lot more. That's going to weigh on everything because China goes into lockdowns. They don't play a game with anything. They just say, in this district, this area, you're staying home. You're not going to factories. You're not doing anything. They have their own unique way of dealing with it. We'll see what they do. Eurozone economic data. And this is old data. Remember, we're already mid-December. This is the October data. But as you can see, at least there was a bit of growth in there. So as we put this all together and try to figure out what's going on, I don't think it's a surprise that you're getting a break in front of the FOMC meeting. It's afterwards, as the market says, we knew that. We knew what they were going to do. Here's the dot plot that they're going to come out with, and that's what traders are going to focus on. It's going to move forward. You'd be shocked if it doesn't. And remember, it's anonymous. You don't know who's doing what. They can always move it back. And you're going to have to get through the first quarter of 2022. It sounds so far to say that out, but it's right around the corner. You have to get through that to see is there going to be easing in all this inflation pressure or not. As for President Biden's Build Back Better, is that what it is, triple B? I would say that Mr. Manchin, you're not going to get him to convert to anything this year. This number, if anything, cemented his position even more. So when I hear people saying, well, they're still talking, that's a good sign for that program, it's a pretty bad sign, inflation running this much. Inflation, and now you want to throw more money at it. I am not saying that in its wisdom, quote unquote, Washington won't get something done, but it ain't going to happen now. How's that for the grammar? All right, So we watch and see what it's all doing. Obviously, some of these markets will shake these numbers off as the morning goes on, and they'll prepare themselves for the central banks. We have 3 of them reporting today as well, so I think you want to pay close attention to all that. I want to talk to you also right now, if you haven't studied my enhanced Bollinger Bands, this is a course of which it's like getting your master's degree in this algorithm and understanding how pros use it. Well, then take a look at this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all 3 of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.